So Joe Biden's first address to Congress just wrapped up a minute ago. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. You can go back and watch it if you want to, but I'm just going to go over what stood out to me. I'm going to tell you now over the next, I'm going to stick to 2 years because we still have midterms coming. There's going to be an awful lot of money thrown out the door and spent real quick. And I'm not convinced that just raising the taxes on corporate America is going to be able to cover it and pay for it. The Green New Deal by itself is extremely expensive. Families plan, jobs plan, infrastructure. It all costs money. He swears up and down he's not going to raise your taxes, but then he throws out there, I'm going to raise your wage to $15 an hour. I'm going to raise minimum wage. Newsflash, when your minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour, you're paying more in taxes. You're going to pay more in taxes because your earnings go up, your taxes go up. It's common sense. So if you think you're going to be making $15 an hour and paying the same amount you are in taxes now, you're dreaming. It's not going to happen. And not only this, today, I saw we're getting a fourth stimulus package, which would make, I believe, the seventh stimulus package overall. Trillions upon trillions of dollars being spent and thrown out the window. We don't need more stimulus packages. We need people to go back to work. We need things to get back to normal, but the government's plan is just throw more money at it. And this is all his deal. He's expanding Obamacare, throwing in the, what was it? The Affordable Care Act. It's all going to cost money. And every time you ask them, how are we going to pay for it? We're going to tax the rich. I'm not convinced just taxing the rich is going to get all the money for that. It's not going to happen. He also brought up the high cost of medicine in this country. Well, maybe we wouldn't have to pay so much for medicine if we'd stop importing it from China. Maybe we wouldn't have to pay so much if we made it here. But we're still importing it. We're still allowing Big Pharma to keep raising prices. And then he brought up something that to me is very, very aggravating. He brought up putting money into research and development, into all this stuff, and then he brought up cancer research. Okay, Joe Biden stood on the campaign trail and said, elect me and I'll cure cancer. But, for those who are not aware, Joe Biden has his own cancer research facility. You know what Joe Biden did? All research was halted pending the result of the election. It was on the website. I don't know if it's there now, but it was months ago. When I saw it, it made me sick. That sent one clear message. I'm going to hold. I have the ability to probably make this happen or make headway on it, but I'm going to hold it hostage until you vote for me. So I'm sorry, to me that hits a little close to home. You don't hold that as a bargaining chip to get elected. Now, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. If there's a way for us to move forward and find better treatments and better medicine and hopefully one day a cure for that horrible disease, then let's do it. We should have done it years ago. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. And that's strictly because we have done all this. We've researched this stuff for over 30 years. I mean, and we are still using the same exact treatments that we've been using. Yeah, some new stuff has come along, but the baseline of treatment has been the same forever. But anyway, I'll get off that. That's a whole nother tirade for another video. Then, of course, he did his usual grandstanding and talking about gun control, this, that, and the third. They talked about ending the war in Afghanistan and bringing our troops home. I'm on the fence on that as whether or not it's a good idea or a bad idea, because I truly don't know. I have family members and friends who've served and have been over there, but they may have a far different opinion than I do. I said years ago when we got bin Laden, our job is done. It's time to come home. We went over there. We got public enemy number 1, public enemy number 2. But I was young and arrogant, and I was ignorant. And I didn't understand what our presence meant over there. Now I have a better understanding of what our presence means over there, but I don't know for sure if bringing our troops home is such a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad one. Well, that is something that we'll have to wait and see what happens. But then, something else he mentioned I found interesting is he wants to revamp our education system and add an additional 4 years to our already standard public education. Don't quite know how to feel about that either. Every child would be required to go to 2 additional years of preschool, and then once you graduate high school, you would be going to 2 years of community college for free. Don't know sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyway, the main thing is everything he's doing, every plan he's signing, and he wants all this done in record time. He wants all this done quickly. Like I've said, they've got 2 years to make everything they want to happen. They only got 2 years to do it, because if they lose majority in the House or the Senate, they know they're not going to get any of this stuff done. So they're going to move at a breakneck pace while they have majority. They face some opposition in the Senate. I don't know if it's enough to hold them back. They know they're running out. They're on a limited window to get some of this stuff done. Now, at the end of the day, us, the American people, are going to be stuck holding the bill for this. Our taxes are going to go up. I'm sorry to tell you, if you wholeheartedly believe that your taxes as the American worker are not going to go up, I'm sorry to tell you, you are being misled. All the stimulus money, all these plans and stuff he wants to do, eventually that stuff has to be paid for. And how's it going to be paid for? Through us. The blue-collar workers, the American people are going to be stuck holding the bill. Or I'm sorry, what blue-collar workers are still going to be able to work? Because yet again, he goes on his tirade about the Green New Deal, building a better grid. And another thing, he had the nerve to bring up what happened here in Texas. Saying that we need to build a more better and green grid. I'm okay with a green grid, but you need to remember something here. You need fossil fuel to subsidize that. A 100% green grid is not sustainable. California is proof of that. Every single green energy solution they tried, it failed. And they ultimately ended up importing energy from other states. They tried solar, that didn't work. They tried wind, that didn't work. They even tried hydroelectric, and that didn't work. Green energy the technology is not here yet to solely rely on it as a sustainable energy source. Now, could we use green energy to subsidize what we have? Of course. But solely relying on that is a bad idea and a bad move. When that storm hit Texas, the very first section of the grid that failed was the green grid. Your windmills, your solar panels, they all got covered up with snow and froze, and that was the first section of the grid to go down. Then went the natural gas and the other means of producing energy. That's why the energy came back so fast. Once the natural gas lines thawed and they were able to, the flow of energy was able to be restored, power started coming back on. Yeah, it was rough for a few days, but we made it through. As Texans, we made it through. We don't need the federal government coming into Texas and telling us what to do with our grid. Texas has had its own freestanding grid forever at this point. And that snowstorm was a once-in-a-100-year storm. Now, granted, you could argue climate change, and it's going to happen again, it's going to happen again, it's going to happen again. Climate change, I've said it once, I'll say it again. It happened before humans. It will continue to happen after we're gone. Climate change, it did not happen with... Oh, sorry. If we're the sole cause for climate change, then what's wrong? What happened to the dinosaurs? Because what happened? That asteroid fell, and what happened? The climate around them changed, and they were unable to survive. Ice Age, same thing. Climate around them changed. and they were unable to survive. The climate change happens whether we want it or not. I stand by what I said before. Climate change is the will of God himself. He created this world so perfect. He built in its own self-destruct system. And that self-destruct system is climate change. Will we one day reach a point where the climate will be unsustainable for us? I don't know, and I don't know how long that will take. I will say this, if you truly believe we only got 12 years left, you might want to grab that leather book in your nightstand and dust it off and start reading. Just saying. I'm not saying the world's ending right now. I'm not saying this is happening or that's happening. But if that's what you truly believe, you might want to start reading. Anyway, when your taxes go through the roof, and all the government can tell you is, what? We raised your minimum wage. You should be fine, right? Remember, it's what you voted for.